Have you ever felt like you know what to do, or maybe even how to do something, but actually putting that knowledge into consistent practice, well, it feels like navigating a whole different dimension.
Hmm.
It's this incredibly common experience, right?
Hmm.
A kind of universal human frustration, really,
Hmm.
where the path from intention to execution just gets, well, it gets frustratingly murky.
Yeah.
We have these brilliant ideas, these plans, all laid out, but then there's this almost like invisible force field between our thoughts and our tangible actions.
It's absolutely true. It's that fundamental chasm between theory and reality, isn't it?
Yeah.
We collect knowledge, we understand concepts. Sometimes we even, intellectually master them. But transforming that abstract understanding into consistent, tangible action, into a lived character that naturally embodies those ideals, that's where the true challenge and actually the true work lies.
Right.
It's the difference between, say, knowing the blueprint and actually constructing the building.
That's it, exactly. And that's precisely what this deep dive is all about.
Hmm.
The architecture of excellence. How do we actually bridge that gap? How do we move from just thinking about being excellent, or even knowing how, to actually being excellent day in and day out in the very fabric of our lives?
Hmm.
This isn't about some, abstract ideal. It's about the very practical scaffolding we need to build within ourselves.
And for this deep dive, we've pulled from an incredibly rich collection of wisdom. Our primary source material is a compilation called 26 to Julio, which translates to Day 207 within a larger series.
Okay.
It's a fascinating mix, almost kaleidoscopic, of reflections and direct quotes from a wonderfully diverse group of thinkers. I mean, we're talking ancient Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, foundational philosophers like Aristotle, modern business minds like Seth Godin, and even really practical insights from legendary sports coaches like Dean Smith or the golf instructors Pia Nilsson and Lynn Marriott.
That's quite a range.
It really is.
Yeah.
And this material has been further organized and analyzed in an accompanying document we're using as our guide, titled From Thinking to Being, The Architecture of Excellence. It's a treasure trove of insights on moving from concept to concrete reality.
Okay, so our mission today is to unpack these profound insights. We're going to distill the most important nuggets, aiming to give you not just a clearer understanding of what excellence is, but crucially, how it's actually built. Brick by brick, habit by habit, day by day. We'll explore these interconnected themes that reveal the practical, actionable steps for embodying excellence in your own life. Think of it as maybe a detailed tour through the structural elements needed to build your own personal monument to excellence.
I like that.
Yeah, it's about moving beyond just intellectually appreciating excellence to
Yeah.
truly making it a part of who you are and what you consistently do. Okay, let's start by laying the foundation. Our source material hits us directly with this foundational insight. It says, "Except that having an idea is not enough. We must work until able to recreate that experience. Our job is to produce work, be both a craftsman and an artist, create products of both labor and industry instead of just a product of the mind. It's here where abstractions meet the road and the real, where we trade thinking and talking for working."
Wow. That's a powerful declaration, isn't it? It really strips away all pretense.
It absolutely does. And it lays bare that initial gap we touched upon, this fundamental chasm. The source material makes a very clear, very critical distinction: the product of the mind versus products of labor and industry.
Okay.
So a product of the mind, that's essentially a thought, a concept, a brilliant strategy, maybe a perfect plan that exists only in our heads or, on paper.
Right.
It's potential, exactly. It's promise, but it's not yet real. It's kind of like believing you've built a bridge just because you've drawn a really detailed diagram of it.
So it's having that amazing blueprint for a house, like we said, but no actual house. Or maybe even more common, having an incredible business plan, but, well, no actual customers or product out there.
Precisely. And the source argues that true value, true excellence, doesn't come from that blueprint or business plan alone.
Yeah.
It comes from the products of labor and industry, the tangible outputs, the actual applied effort.
Okay.
This isn't just about doing something vaguely, but about productive work that brings those ideas into reality. It's about, getting dirt under your fingernails, engaging in the often messy, repetitive, sometimes unglamorous tasks that lead to creation.
Yeah, the planning feels good, though.
Oh, it does. There's a psychological comfort in planning, isn't there? It feels like progress. But the source is pushing us to recognize that true progress comes from the grind.
That phrase, abstractions meet the road and the real, that really captures it.
Yes, that's the point of practical application. It's where theories get tested, refined, and honestly, often transformed. So many ideas sound fantastic in a meeting, right? Beautifully articulated strategies, everyone nods, but they often crumble or reveal their flaws when they hit the messy reality of execution.
That's the collision point.
That's where the rubber meets the road, exactly, where the theoretical collides with the practical. It's the movement beyond just intellectual understanding to actual, often difficult execution.
And it implies a feedback loop.
Exactly. You don't just execute once, you execute, you watch the outcome, you learn from the friction, and you refine. You're continually working to recreate that experience, as the source says, with more precision, more consistency. The real lesson isn't just in the initial thought, but in that iterative process of bringing it to life.
So this leads directly to that core shift. Trading, thinking, and talking for working. Now, I think this is where so many of us, myself included, often get stuck. We love to brainstorm, we love planning, discussing. It feels productive, and often it is, up to a point. But where's the line? Isn't there a danger of maybe too much work without enough thinking? Just busy work.
That's a really important question. And it's not about abandoning thinking or talking completely. I mean, those phases are absolutely necessary for clarity, for strategy, for alignment.
Sure.
The source is highlighting the danger of only existing in that conceptual space. The line gets drawn when thinking and talking become a substitute for action, a kind of procrastination maybe, or just a way to avoid the inevitable discomfort of execution.
Oh, okay.
It emphasizes that critical shift from theoretical discussion or endless planning to diligent hands-on engagement. It's about moving from being a strategist who just conceives to being a craftsman who actually builds. And the danger you mentioned, busy work, that's real if thinking isn't followed by focused, intentional work. The key is to think in order to work, not instead of working. It's about being productive in a way that generates real, tangible outcomes, not just, impressive diagrams or endless meetings.
It makes me think about something really simple, like building with Lego blocks.
Okay.
You might have a perfect picture in your mind of this amazing castle you want to build. You can spend hours thinking about it, how tall it'll be, where the turrets go, the colors, even sketch it out. But that picture in your head, that product of the mind, it won't build the castle for you. You have to actually pick up each block one by one, put them in the right places. Your hands have to do the work.
Yeah.
Your focus has to be on the physical task, not just the mental blueprint.
That's an excellent analogy. So relatable. And it isn't just physical building either. Think about any skill you want to learn or master.
Yeah.
Whether it's playing an instrument, writing code, or even becoming a really compelling writer, knowing the theory is only the very first step. You can read every book on music theory, understand scales and chords perfectly, but until you sit down, pick up the instrument, and actually practice those scales, chords, pieces, you won't make any music.
True.
You can study algorithms all day long, but you're not a programmer until you actually write lines of code that compile and do something. The knowledge is critical, it's the beginning, but only the consistent applied practice and effort create the actual skill, the real output, that product of labor and industry.
It's in the doing.
It's in the doing that the learning truly solidifies and the capability emerges.
Right. So for you, listening right now, how often do you find yourself stuck in that thinking and talking phase? Maybe because the idea of actually doing the work feels, daunting, uncertain. This deep dive is really about giving you the practical tools to bridge that gap, to take that brilliant idea, whether it's a new project, a personal goal, or even just a better version of yourself, and make it a tangible reality. It's about recognizing that the journey from abstract knowledge to true capability, from intellectual understanding to lived excellence, demands more than just mental processing. It demands the actual, consistent, often gritty work. Okay, that powerful idea of working brings us naturally to how excellence actually shows up, in specific domains, especially under pressure, and how our mental approach plays such a huge role. Our source material gives us some incredible insights from the world of golf, which might seem a bit niche at first.
Right.
But really, the psychological principles, the performance principles, they apply everywhere. Boardroom, operating room, you name it.
Indeed. The source quotes Pia Nilsson and Lynn Marriott, who are renowned golf instructors, and their advice is strikingly simple yet profound. Think clearly and play from the heart. Seems contradictory.
It might seem that way at first glance, yeah. But it's actually about integrating two crucial, often complementary aspects of peak performance.
Yeah.
The rational and the intuitive.
Thinking clearly refers to the mental prep, the strategy, understanding the mechanics, analyzing the course, choosing the right club. It's the conscious, analytical side.
Got it.
Playing from the heart, on the other hand, signifies trusting that deep-seated mastery, allowing for intuitive flow, performing with emotional freedom, unburdened by overthinking during the critical moment of execution.
It's the synthesis.
It's the synthesis of preparation and release. Exactly.
So it's not about ignoring your brain, but about letting your body and intuition kind of take over once the thinking's done. Like a surgeon who plans every step meticulously.
Yes.
But then in the heat of the moment relies on years of practice for their hands to move almost automatically, precisely.
Exactly. And Walter Hagen, a legendary golfer, reinforces this. He says, "Feel at ease, lack worry, and no guessing as you hit the ball."
Easier said than done.
Well, yes. But this state of confident competence isn't achieved by just wishing for it or through mere positive thinking. It's the direct result of thorough, deliberate practice, where fundamentals become so automatic, so ingrained into muscle memory neural pathways that you don't need to consciously think about them during execution.
Automaticity.
That automaticity allows the performer to be at ease in a high-stakes moment because the skill itself is no longer a conscious effort. Their mind is freed up to focus on the overall strategy or the immediate environment, not the mechanics of the swing.
And this leads us right to that classic learning progression, right? From conscious incompetence to unconscious competence. But for our audience who are probably pretty familiar with these concepts, how does this source material push our understanding of that transition? It's more than just the definition, isn't it?
Absolutely. While the terms themselves, conscious incompetence, knowing what you don't know, feeling the struggle, and unconscious competence, performing skillfully without conscious thought are familiar, the source material and these coaches' Havites really highlight the challenges and the deliberate effort required in that transition.
It's not smooth sailing.
It's not a linear, effortless glide at all. It's often marked by plateaus, setbacks, moments of self-doubt. To move from that awkwardness of conscious incompetence, where every mistake feels glaring, to the fluidity of unconscious competence. Well, it requires immense resilience and deliberate practice, identifying specific weaknesses and relentlessly drilling them.
Yeah, it doesn't stop there, does it?
No, for someone truly pursuing excellence, it's about pushing beyond mere unconscious competence to a state of mastery.
Okay.
Mastery isn't just effortless performance, it's the ability to adapt effortlessly, to perform under new conditions, maybe to teach others, and even to return to a state of conscious competence at a higher level when you're refining or innovating.
Ah, interesting. So you don't just stay unconscious.
Right. The trap is often complacency once unconscious competence is reached. Many people stop pushing once they're good enough, but true excellence demands continuously challenging those ingrained habits, always seeking to refine or break through to a new level.
What I love is that the source, through Coach Dean Smith, doesn't shy away from the fact that this process is hard. He offers this incredibly valuable gem. It feels hard because it is hard, but it doesn't mean I'm doing something wrong. Think about errors only as long as it takes for you to correct them. This is such a powerful reframing of difficulty, isn't it? It directly counters that voice in our heads that says, if this is hard, I must be failing.
It's vital. We often interpret difficulty, resistance, that initial awkwardness as a sign of failure or that we're on the wrong path.
Yeah.
And it causes us to give up too soon. But as Coach Smith points out so clearly, difficulty is a natural, necessary part of learning and growth. It's the friction that hones the skill, the resistance that builds the strength.
And the error correction piece.
Also key. It's not about ignoring mistakes, that would be naive. It's about acknowledging them, extracting the necessary, precise lesson, and then immediately re-engaging with the task with the correction applied.
Quick pivot.
Quick pivot. It fosters resilience, prevents that debilitating self-criticism, and promotes continuous, not sporadic, improvement. And it ties directly into that insight that the excellence of one's game depends on self-control, the mental composure to not let errors derail you, but to quickly pivot to correction and maintain a productive mindset. That's the psychological architecture right there.
And what's fascinating here is that the pursuit of excellence in one specific skill, like golf, isn't just about that skill. Pia Nilsson and Lynn Marriott also said something really profound. Learning to be a better golfer also involves learning to be a better person.
This is a truly profound implication. It really speaks to the holistic nature of genuine excellence, the discipline, the focus, patience, resilience, self-control, all cultivated in one demanding domain. Sports, music, research, even complex relationships. They aren't isolated traits.
They transfer.
They develop the underlying mental and emotional architecture that then spills over into broader personal development, into character building. The mental toughness needed on the green, for instance, translates directly into emotional regulation in everyday life. Helps you stay calm under pressure.
That makes sense.
The commitment to consistent practice in one area strengthens your overall discipline and perseverance. It makes you a more capable, well-rounded individual, ready to face challenges far beyond your chosen field. It's like a cross-training for the soul, maybe.
I like that. Cross-training for the soul. So for you, listening right now, where in your life do you need to integrate that clear thinking with heartfelt, practiced action? Is it in a professional project,
Yeah.
a creative endeavor, maybe even a tricky personal relationship? And how can you reframe those hard parts, those moments of discomfort, frustration, maybe even outright failure as necessary steps on the journey, not roadblocks telling you to give up? Remember that discomfort is often a clear sign of growth, not a sign of failure. It's the internal scaffolding being built. Okay, that idea of continuous, often difficult work, embracing discomfort, trusting the process. It brings us to an aspect of excellence that's often overlooked, maybe just fundamentally misunderstood. The crucial role of time. It's not just about what you do or how you do it, but when the results show up and our relationship to that timeline.
And our source material captures this beautifully with Seth Godin's powerful analogy. He says, we are all time travelers, and we are all farmers. The seeds you plant today won't grow for weeks or months. The systems we support, the people we dance with, the ruckus we create, it's not for today, it's for tomorrow. We're here now, but we live in the future. We are making history. And then he asks, if you could have tomorrow over again, would you do it differently?
Wow, we are all farmers. That's such a grounding image, isn't it? It immediately connects us to these fundamental natural processes that just exist regardless of our impatience.
Absolutely. The analogy fundamentally reframes our approach to personal development, to any long-term pursuit, really. A farmer understands with deep wisdom that growth happens invisibly, underground, over extended periods.
Right.
You don't plant seeds and expect corn tomorrow. You understand that the seed is doing crucial unseen work beneath the surface, establishing roots, absorbing nutrients, preparing for that visible emergence.
And that applies too.
It's profoundly true for building character, developing complex skills, nurturing deep relationships. Progress isn't always immediately visible. You might be putting in the diligent daily work, but the harvest of competence, wisdom, connection might be weeks, months, maybe even years away.
And that's where the frustration comes in.
That's the discomfort, when our modern instant gratification mindset clashes with this timeless natural law.
And this perspective, the farming metaphor, it's both profoundly humbling and incredibly empowering.
How so?
Well, humbling because you can't just decide to be excellent and expect instant visible results.
Right.
There's no arguing with the soil, right?
Negotiation.
But it's also empowering because every single day, every single action is an opportunity to plant future seeds. It gives consistency, immense meaning.
Yes, it underscores that excellence isn't a destination you reach with one grand act. It's a daily practice you meticulously maintain. It means accepting that your most important work, the things that truly build lasting value, often show no immediate evidence of progress.
This can be tough.
Profoundly frustrating, especially in a world that constantly broadcasts instant successes and quick fixes. But it also means every seemingly small, consistent effort today contributes to a future harvest, even if you can't see it yet. It gives profound meaning to consistency. It's the quiet, daily act of planting that allows for the eventual spectacular bloom.
Which leads us straight to another powerful line from the source.
Yeah.
The harvest doesn't negotiate with the farmer. Outcomes obey effort, not excuses.
Oof.
Yeah, there's truly no wiggle room there, is there?
None whatsoever. It truly highlights the natural laws of results. They operate like gravity. Just as a farmer can't argue with the seasons, can't demand a crop grow faster than nature allows.
Right. We cannot negotiate with the fundamental requirements for excellence. Results operate according to consistent principles, consistent effort, diligent practice, patient waiting, not our desires, not our timelines, not our excuses. It's wishing for a harvest won't make it appear. Only consistent, intelligent effort applied over the necessary time will. It's a stark, almost brutal reminder that the universe or the specific domain you're trying to excel in is entirely indifferent to your intentions if they aren't backed by sustained, appropriate action. It's a call to profound personal accountability.
And then there's the nuance of patience. It's so often misunderstood as just passively waiting, but the source clarifies. Patience is not the ability to wait, but to keep a good attitude while waiting.
This is a crucial distinction. It moves patience from being a passive virtue to an active one.
Active patience. Exactly. It's not about sitting idly by, just hoping for results. True patience in this context is active, positive engagement while the unseen growth occurs. It's about maintaining diligence, focus, a constructive mindset, even when the results you want aren't evident yet.
Still tending the fields.
You're still tending the fields even when the visible growth is minimal. You're weeding, watering, protecting the young plants. It's the internal fortitude to persist with optimism and continued effort, trusting the process even when external feedback is delayed. It's a profound act of faith in the compound effect of consistent effort.
And speaking of intelligent use of time, Bertrand Russell's thought is included here. To be able to fill leisure intelligently is the last product of civilization. How does that connect to this idea of the harvest, which seems so focused on active labor?
That's fascinating, isn't it? Because it subtly reminds us that even our leisure time can be a form of planting seeds or tending the soil. If leisure is used intelligently for genuine rest, for deep thinking, learning, meaningful connection, creative exploration, it contributes profoundly to our overall capacity for future growth and excellence.
It's not just downtime.
It's not just consuming time, numbing ourselves, or merely escaping. It's about replenishing the mental, emotional, physical resources that allow for future productivity and creativity. In a sense, intelligent leisure nurtures the very ground from which future harvest will spring. It's where insights might emerge from the subconscious, where energy is restored, perspective broadens, allowing us to be more effective when we return to active farming. It highlights that the architecture of excellence isn't just about output, but also about input and regeneration.
So for you, the listener, maybe take a moment to reflect. What seeds are you planting today in your career, your relationships, your health, your personal growth? Seeds that might not show visible results for weeks or months, maybe even years. Are you willing to trust the process? To keep tending your metaphorical fields with consistent, active patience, even when you can't see the harvest on the horizon? Because the profound reality is, the most valuable things often grow in silence and in darkness before they bloom into something magnificent. And your commitment to this temporal dimension is crucial for their flourishing. Okay, that idea of patient, consistent cultivation of ourselves, understanding that our most valuable work happens over time. It leads us to a deeper, maybe more profound dimension of excellence. It's ethical and moral imperative. It's not just about self-improvement for self-gain or personal achievement. It's bigger than that.
This is where Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, provides a crucial insight that really challenges our comfortable notions of morality. He says, often injustice lies in what you aren't doing, not only in what you are doing.
Oof, that hits hard.
It expands our understanding of responsibility beyond active wrongdoing to passive inaction. It's a very challenging thought for many of us, as we tend to define ourselves by the good we do or the bad we avoid. But this flips the script.
And the source material really drives this home, doesn't it? Citing stark historical examples of what it calls passive evil. It says, history abounds with evidence that humanity is capable of doing evil, not only actively, but passively. In some of our most shameful moments, from slavery to the Holocaust to segregation to the murder of Kitty Genevieve's guilt, wasn't limited to perpetrators, but to ordinary citizens who, for a multitude of reasons, declined to get involved.
This concept of passive evil is powerful and deeply unsettling. It forces us to confront the idea that simply not doing harm isn't enough.
Right.
The absence of action, particularly when action is warranted or morally compelled, can have devastating consequences. The multitude of reasons people decline to get involved, often they stem from complex psychological factors: fear, diffusion of responsibilities, someone else will do it, apathy, a belief it's not their problem, or even perceived helplessness.
Understandable reasons, maybe.
Understandable on a human level, yes. But the source, echoing Aurelius, suggests these reasons don't fully absolve one of moral responsibility. To be silent in the face of injustice, to look away when help is needed, is to become complicit. It's an ethical void that your inaction fills.
Which is exactly why that old, powerful line rings so true still. All evil needs to prevail is for good men to do nothing. It's a call to active goodness, isn't it?
Precisely. This transforms the pursuit of excellence from a purely personal development project into a profound moral obligation. It's not enough to just avoid doing evil. You must also consciously choose to be a force for good in the world as best you can.
So our skills, our character, their preparation.
Exactly. Developing your skills, building your character, strengthening your resolve, all those aspects of personal excellence we've discussed, they aren't merely self-serving, they are preparations. They equip you to be an active force for good when circumstances demand it.
Like the golfer.
Yeah. The self-controlled golfer develops the very same mental discipline and composure that can be crucial in standing up for justice, advocating for others, or helping in a crisis. The patience cultivated waiting for a harvest prepares one for the long struggle against injustice or societal inertia. Your personal excellence becomes a foundational component of your capacity to contribute meaningfully to the world around you.
It's about ensuring that our personal strength, our capabilities, aren't just for our own benefit, but can be leveraged for the collective good, for the community, for humanity. And Benjamin Franklin's insight fits right in here, adding another layer. If you'd be loved, love, and be lovable.
It does. Being lovable in Franklin's sense isn't about being passively agreeable or just seeking validation. It's about embodying qualities, kindness, integrity, competence, generosity, reliability that naturally draw others and make you a positive, influential presence.
And that connects to being a force for good.
Directly. A person who is genuinely excellent in character and action, who consistently demonstrates integrity and compassion, naturally contributes to a better environment for everyone around them. Their personal excellence creates this sort of attractive force for positive change, radiating outward.
So influence through example.
They become a force for good, not just through grand gestures or heroic acts, but through the consistent embodiment of positive traits. By being the kind of person others want to connect with and follow, it's the subtle power of example and influence.
So this deep dive challenges us not just to be better individuals, but to consider the broader impact of our lives. How can your pursuit of excellence extend beyond personal gain? How can it contribute to the good of your community, the world? Where might your inaction, even if unintentional or seemingly small, be contributing to injustice or just to things not getting better? And how can you become a more active force for good? This isn't just a mental exercise. It's a powerful call to look at our lives and our potential impact with fresh eyes, to truly engage with the epical dimension of excellence. Okay, so we've talked about the big picture moving from ideas to action, the psychology of performance, the crucial role of time, and this profound moral imperative calling us to something larger. Now, the fundamental question, how does all this actually get built into our lives? What's the practical daily mechanism for transforming all these wisdom, these insights into lived character and consistent excellence? And the answer, clearly from our sources, is habit. It's the very mortar and bricks of our personal architecture.
Indeed. This is the pivotal principle, adapted from Aristotle and powerfully conveyed by the historian Will Durant. We are what we repeatedly do. Therefore, excellence is not an act, but a habit. Absolutely foundational, because it demystifies excellence. It clarifies that excellence isn't some fixed state, a destination you arrive at and then you just are excellent. No, it is a continuous process pursued through daily doing in big things and small things.
It emerges.
It emerges from turning that pursuit into consistent, almost automatic action. It's a consistent repetition, not the singular, heroic effort that defines true excellence. It's about building neural pathways and behavioral patterns so strong that the excellent choice becomes, well, the path of least resistance.
And the source material applies this beautifully to parenting, with a section titled, "What Are You Making Them Do?" It's not about what you tell your kids, is it? It's about the consistent behavioral demands.
No, not primarily through lectures or just words. The source emphasizes that character formation, whether in children or adults, happens through required, repeated actions, not just good intentions or aspirational words.
Makes sense.
You can tell a child to be tidy all day long, but if you don't make them put away their toys, if you don't require the physical action, the habit of tidiness just won't form. Right.
Same goes for attention to detail, respectful behavior, persistence when things get tough, or even generosity. It's about creating the environment and the expectation for consistent, desired actions, which then, over time, literally wire the brain and build the character.
We are what we repeatedly do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The source stresses that, meaning our very identity is shaped by our consistent actions, not merely by our declared intentions. And this is a profound truth that applies to self-parenting as well. How are we making ourselves act?
This also ties into James Clear's insight from the source. Fewer moves, bolder strokes. I love that imagery. It immediately makes you think of something powerful, impactful.
It's a powerful principle about quality and consistency over sheer quantity or complexity. Excellence often comes not from doing a multitude of things superficially, but from doing fewer things with greater consistency and quality.
Focus. Identifying the fundamental high-leverage skills or actions that truly contribute to your desired excellence, and then practicing them diligently, day in, day out. It's about focusing your efforts on those bolder strokes, the core tasks or habits that move the needle significantly, rather than getting caught up in a flurry of pebble pushes or busy work that yields minimal results.
Optimizing effort.
Optimizing your efforts for maximum impact over time. Recognizing that true progress often comes from deep, sustained focus on the essentials. This is key to building a robust architectural structure, not just a flimsy facade.
Which then leads directly to the critical, almost existential question the source poses. What am I optimizing for?
This question is a powerful forcing function, a necessary pause for introspection. It makes you pause and reflect honestly on whether your daily actions and habits truly align with your stated values and long-term goals.
It's easy to get sidetracked.
Oh, surprisingly easy. To spend your days busy with activities that feel productive, checking emails, meetings, consuming endless content, reacting to every notification, but that do not actually move you toward genuine excellence in the areas that matter most to you.
So what are you optimizing for?
Are you optimizing for convenience, for immediate gratification, for avoiding discomfort? Or are you truly optimizing for long-term growth and the embodiment of excellence in your chosen fields, in your character? This question forces a kind of brutal audit of your habits to ensure they are serving your highest aspirations.
Because if they're not aligned.
If your actions are not aligned with what you say you are optimizing for, you will inevitably fall short of true excellence. You'll build a structure that just collapses under its own weight, or maybe was never the structure you intended to build in the first place.
So for you, listening right now, what habits are you building, consciously or unconsciously, that are shaping who you are becoming brick by brick? And are these habits truly optimizing for the excellence you desire? Or are they maybe leading you down a path of unintentional mediocrity, building something you don't actually want? Because ultimately, who you are tomorrow is a direct and inevitable result of what you repeatedly do today. It's the constant construction of your future self. Okay, we've talked about the doing and the habits, the daily construction of ourselves. But excellence doesn't develop in a vacuum, does it? The environment you're in, the influences around you, the weather in which you're building, all of that plays an absolutely crucial role.
Absolutely. The final theme in our source material addresses this head-on with a profound statement. The mind is what the mind is fed. How we change over the years depends on the mind food we feed ourselves. Recondition yourself for success. The world is built to produce mediocrity. Never surrender to suppressive forces.
Wow. The mind is what the mind is fed.
This insight reveals that pursuing excellence isn't just about internal discipline. It's also about intelligently designing and managing our external circumstances, our mind food, because our mental diet directly impacts our mental strength and clarity.
Mind food, that's a really vivid image. Like our mental diet, just like our physical diet.
Exactly.
And just like physical junk food. There's a lot of mental junk food out there.
Oh, absolutely. Just as you wouldn't expect your body to be healthy and perform optimally if you consistently ate junk food, you shouldn't expect your mind to be sharp, resilient, capable of pursuing excellence if you feed it a steady diet of negativity, mindless distraction, constant comparison, or just triviality.
Yeah.
The books we read, the conversations we have, the media we consume, and critically, the people we spend time with, all contribute to shaping our thoughts, which shape our actions, which determine our results.
And the world is built for mediocrity.
The source emphasizes that, that the world often is built to produce mediocrity, making conscious environmental design even more critical. It's an active battle against the default settings, against the currents that pull us towards average. It requires vigilance to filter out what doesn't serve your growth.
So the advice to let negative influences slip away like water from the duck's back, that isn't about being ignorant or avoiding all challenges, is it? Not creating a bubble.
Not at all. It's about intentional curation and resistance, a sophisticated discernment.
Okay.
This isn't about avoiding all criticism or insulating yourself from differing viewpoints. Often, constructive criticism is absolutely essential for growth, for refinement.
Sure.
However, it is about discerning whose voices truly serve your growth and who simply pull you towards mediocrity, negativity, or destructive self-doubt. The source specifically warns against negators, haters who are everywhere. It's about protecting your mental space from those actively suppressive forces that drain your energy and diminish your potential. those who thrive on tearing down rather than building up. You can't control all external inputs, but you can control what you allow to soak in and shape your inner world. This is a critical component of building mental resilience.
And cultivating that positive mental space also connects to that phrase from the source. What's the good word? It implies a focus on what's constructive, right? What helps us build?
Precisely. It's an active choice, a daily micro-habit almost, to seek out and focus on the beneficial, the uplifting, the empowering. It's a question you ask yourself and others that subtly shifts the focus towards progress and positivity.
And the Arab proverb, the monkey is a gazelle in the eyes of its mother.
Yeah, this proverb speaks to the profound importance of unconditional support and belief within one's environment. While the world might try to diminish or suppress you, a truly supportive environment, like a mother's steadfast belief, can foster immense confidence. It helps you see and reach your true potential, contrasting sharply with those suppressive forces.
That internal belief matters.
That internal belief, fortified by external support, helps you understand that, as the source also quotes, "We are more than conquerors through him who loved us," Romans 8:37. It underscores the deep well of resilience and internal strength needed to overcome these external forces and pursue excellence. It's a reminder of an ultimate, unconditional belief that can sustain you.
And on the flip side, the source includes that powerful analogy about trust. Breaking someone's trust is like crumpling a perfect piece of paper. You can smooth it over, but it's never going to be the same again. How does this fit into environmental design? It seems more about relationships.
It's precisely because it's about relationships that it's crucial to environmental design.
Ah, okay.
This highlights the profound impact that the integrity and trust within your relationships have on your overall mental and emotional environment. A broken trust introduces a crumpled aspect into your mental and emotional landscape.
It creates friction.
It creates friction, diminishes peace of mind, and can divert significant mental and emotional energy away from the focused pursuit of excellence. Imagine trying to concentrate on deep work when you're constantly worried about someone's unreliable promises or when past betrayals fester.
It's a drag.
It's a constant drag. It reminds us that our relationships are a crucial part of our environment, and maintaining trust and integrity within them is essential for a serene, focused, and ultimately excellent life. A crumpled environment due to broken trust makes it significantly harder to concentrate on positive mind food and effectively resist suppressive forces. It's about building a foundation of integrity around you as well as within you.
So for you listening right now, how are you curating your mental environment? What mind food are you consuming? And how are you actively, deliberately resisting the forces that might pull you towards mediocrity? Because ultimately, the most magnificent architecture of excellence needs fertile, well-tended ground to grow and a supportive, uncrumpled environment to thrive. This has been a truly rich exploration, hasn't it? A journey through these fundamental principles of living an excellent life. We've talked about so many interconnected ideas, from turning ideas into action, managing our environment, the moral implications. But how do all these individual threads, these separate architectural components, truly weave together? How do they form a coherent, livable system for building a life of sustained excellence?
That's the crucial final piece, isn't it? Putting it all together, when we look at all these themes, they really do form a cohesive architecture of excellence, a holistic system, not just a collection of disconnected strategies.
Okay, so walk us through it.
Well, it begins with environmental design. Intentionally surrounding ourselves with influences, information, relationships that actively support our growth, not hinder it. Consciously choosing our mind food, resisting suppressive forces, clearing the ground for construction.
Got it. The foundation.
Exactly. Within this supportive context, we can then engage in the deliberate practice needed to develop our skills. This is where abstractions meet the road, where thinking is traded for working, where we move from conscious incompetence through the discomfort to unconscious competence, maybe even mastery.
Embracing the difficulty.
Understanding difficulty is part of it, correcting errors quickly, building self-control and resilience. This is the act of actually building the structure, laying the materials.
Then comes time.
Then the temporal dimension reminds us that results emerge from this consistent effort, but over time. Like the farmer's harvest, it requires active patience, a good attitude while waiting, trusting the unseen growth. Outcomes obey effort, not excuses, and even intelligent leisure contributes. This is the long-term vision for the completed structure.
And performance under pressure.
As competence grows, we learn the psychology of performance, integrating technical precision with emotional freedom, thinking clearly, playing from the heart, performing excellently even under pressure. This makes the structure not just strong, but beautiful and functional under duress.
Then the moral piece.
And this personal excellence becomes the foundation for moral excellence. Recognizing our development isn't just for us, but prepares us to be active forces for good. Understanding injustice can lie in inaction, being lovable and contributing positively. Ensuring our strong personal architecture serves a higher purpose.
And holding it all together.
Finally, the entire system is sustained and made automatic by the architecture of habit, the daily repetition of excellent actions, gradually transforming conscious effort into unconscious embodiment. Excellence becomes a habit, not just an act. Prioritizing those bolder strokes, constantly asking, what am I truly optimizing for? This is the daily maintenance, keeping the building strong and beautiful.
So the outcome isn't just someone who knows about excellence or can talk about it, but someone who literally is excellent.
Exactly.
Living, breathing transformation.
You move from intellectual understanding to embodied wisdom. You become someone who naturally, consistently acts with excellence because it's deeply ingrained. A result of having consciously, deliberately built this architecture within your life, piece by painstaking piece, day after day. It's a testament to consistent choice and consistent effort.
So for you, listening, I urge you to consider how these profound parts connect in your life. Are you truly building a coherent system, a robust architecture for excellence? Or are you maybe just trying a bunch of one-off strategies and hoping for the best? Because true, lasting excellence emerges not from sporadic attempts, but from that integrated, intentional, and patiently built approach. Hashtag tag tag outro. This entire deep dive, really, from that very first thought about the gap between knowing and doing to this final reflection, it brings us back to a simple but profound truth. It can be challenging, but also incredibly empowering. Excellence is available to anyone, but there's a price, and that price must be paid daily, in small increments, through consistent effort over extended periods. There are no shortcuts, no negotiations with the harvest, no exceptions to this fundamental law of cultivation and growth.
And that reality, rather than being discouraging or restrictive, should actually be incredibly liberating.
How so?
It means excellence isn't reserved for those born with special talents or inherent advantages, not for some privileged few. It's accessible to anyone willing to plant seeds consistently, tend them carefully, and trust the long, often unseen process of growth, even when immediate progress isn't visible.
It democratizes it.
It truly democratizes excellence, makes it a path open to consistent dedication, deliberate effort, unwavering patience, not just inherent giftedness.
Which leads us to that truly provocative closing thought from the source, a question that cuts through all the theory and gets right to the heart of daily choice. If you could have tomorrow over again, would you do it differently?
That question isn't really about grand plans or huge life shifts, is it? It's about the daily choices, the seemingly insignificant moments, the small actions you take or fail to take. It's in these insignificant moments that we either plant seeds of excellence, choosing to trade thinking for working, to act rather than just analyze, to make the difficult choice over the convenient one, or we allow the weeds of mediocrity to take root. Through passive inaction, through choosing convenience over consistency. It's in the micro decisions of today that tomorrow is built.
And that's exactly where the true empowerment lies for you. As you face each new day, you can choose. Choose to trade thinking and talking for working. To plant rather than merely plan. To act rather than merely analyze. In making these choices consistently, day after day, you participate in this ancient, ongoing project of human excellence. You're not just improving your own life, you're contributing to the betterment of all those whose lives you touch, simply by showing up and doing the work.
The architecture of excellence is available to us all. It's a proven design. The only question is whether you will pick up the tools and use it. So, what seeds will you plant today?